Hello and welcome to this presentation, which will focus on stretch and challenge techniques that teachers use in gifted and talented education, specifically for PE. So differentiation has been defined as a teacher's proactive response to learner needs shaped by mindset and guided by general principles of differentiation, such as providing respectful tasks, flexible groupings, and ongoing assessment. Gagne's model, which you see to the right here, looks to help teachers focus on an area of specialty or expertise and look to develop it through their teaching methods to bring about the best possible outcome and opportunities for development. This study that we're going through today will look to focus on stretch and challenge and provide a case study on two high ability learners at a school in the UK. So adaptive teaching is teaching standard number 5 on the teacher standard provided by the Department of Education in the UK, and it means that teachers basically have to adapt their teaching methods in order to help different learners develop and gain the best possible outcomes in their lessons. So the annotated bibliography that has been presented in conjunction with this assignment looks to explore several areas of research, such as teachers' assessment of pupil readiness, how they look to adapt their lessons, be it through what they deliver in terms of product or the groupings that they provide, opportunities to push learners through leadership opportunities, as well as potential future and more modern sciences in terms of potentially adding video analysis or heart rate monitors in order to kind of excite that level of learning for high ability learners. So the school setting is an 11 to 18 co-eds based in Surrey. This was focused on 2 top set classes in year 9. Student A was a top set male student who plays for a local cricket club. He specialises in cricket. He's generally good across all sports, but this was his area of kind of expertise. Student B, again, top set female student who is a high-level sprinter at her athletics club. Again, good across most sports, but this was her real area of excellence. So in terms of adaptation strategies, a few are listed on this slide here. However, this presentation is going to thoroughly focus on differentiation through curriculum content and giving challenges in play or games, and trying to test the learner to push on and improve. And it's also going to focus on use of peer mentoring and leadership opportunities within lessons as well, to try and stretch the learner's thinking and help others around them. So in terms of differentiation in curriculum, Bloom has spoke of higher order tasks and challenging learners in those lessons. It also focuses on the use of Bloom's taxonomy, which talks about higher level questions, which I tried to kind of implement in the cricket lessons for student A by not only focusing on the technical points of, in this case, a pull shot, but also tactically what in the decision-making process leads you to take that shot based on the flight of the ball or the trajectory that the ball is coming in. And also analysing opposition positions, maybe in their fielding or how they've set up, and what leads you to try and take on that shot, or what are the alternatives. For student B, we focused on the technical points of sprinting and talked about why do you need to drive the arms in a certain way, what is the actual reason behind it. But then in terms of that, what is the outcome of producing this? And at what point do you need to try and open up and become more upright? And also asking why. Why do you need to become more upright to kind of challenge that level of thinking as well? Tomlinson has spoke really kind of glowingly about differentiating in the curriculum and helping high achievers to really push their knowledge and their outcome in lessons. However, there have been some kind of skepticism around this, talking about potential for resource intensity as well as the difficulty with time and the availability of time for teachers. Also, Lupart and Pritt have spoken about the potential to over-challenge and the issues that could come with perfectionism for high-level learners in this situation. So also in terms of instruction, Tomlinson's 1999 model of differentiation, obviously on the left, gives you several ideas that a teacher might use in order to push the learners. I tried to use this with student A in a cricket game by challenging the learner to hit a six, find a way to hit a six. And in order to make this more difficult, he was placed against a fast bowler who was also high ability. And with that, when in the moments that he was struggling, it was on me as the teacher to assess, okay, this challenge is maybe a little bit too far, but can we challenge him to now hit a four, which is still potentially more achievable, but will also test him as well. He was also given challenges to tactically organise his field when his team was bowling. So thinking about the tactical elements based on the batter, where was he setting players up, and in relation to the type of bowl that his team were trying to use. In terms of the student B and the sprinting lesson, challenges were set to try and complete the first 20 metres in under 3.5 seconds, which was a good challenge for her and really tested her. She was also grouped with challenging opponents when she was sprinting. So when they were going into a full-on race, could she then go and win the race against other fast learners in the lesson? Admittedly, it was difficult to put too many challenges in a sprinting lesson because it is very outcome focused. But we could really kind of hone in and focus on the technique as well, and really push her on that. On the right, you can see Durden Myers' adaptive teaching model for physical education. So it kind of focuses on concepts such as the activity that you're using, the people that are around, equipment and conditions, which hopefully I've tried to use in both of these cases. So in terms of the leadership element of this case study, Bailey speaks of promoting high ability learners being given leadership tasks. This is something I try to do with student A by giving them the opportunity to give individual feedback and group feedback within coaching periods in the lesson. That could be in play, but also between breaks. I gave him the opportunity to lead on warm-ups and organise the groups into their ability sets, as well as opportunities to umpire and show his knowledge of the sport of cricket. For student B, she again had the opportunity to lead on warm-ups, provide coaching for individuals in the lesson when they were sprinting and after they were sprinting as well as setting out the running groups in terms of ability and setting them up for their races. Van Tassel-Basker speaks of these flexible groupings in order to make sure that the learners have the opportunity to reflect within their groups. And obviously some of the groups will have been working to different challenges. For example, the top group will have been sprinting as quick as they can, whereas for the bottom group in that lesson, it might have been a case of just finish the race and do the best technique possible. Lav and Wenger also speak about how content of learning can be aided through providing this feedback for the high ability learner, as they have to think more about the techniques and some of the rules that are encompassed within their teaching as well. While Bailey has highlighted issues with stress, and Cohen mentioned the quality of mentoring could be affected in this process. However, hopefully this is something that the next slide shows I was able to counteract by providing templates for the learners to work with. So student A had the opportunity to provide scoring for the learners and give some of the points that might be able to take them to a mastery score. Whilst on the right, you can see some of the sprint start technique points that helped to aid student B in providing their coaching and adding to their confidence in providing feedback of teaching points that built on their own knowledge as well. In terms of the effect on student A, he presented increased motivation within the lesson and empowerment. He talked about the increased peer motivation in trying to support the learners, but also increased interactions within the lesson. He also spoke about having to consider more about the techniques and the challenges within the lesson, which links in really nicely with Lav and Wenger's work about that content and having to think about what actually are they providing to their peers as well. He did speak of having some pressure when he was challenged to hit a six, but said he viewed this as a real challenge that he could go after, which was a really nice reflection as well. In terms of student B, she showed increased interaction with the lesson, again, higher motivation and opportunities to spend time with peers and speak to people that she wouldn't normally speak to. She said she found it really exciting, as she's not normally someone that's picked out to take on these leadership tasks as well. She said that she did feel more confident as a result of leading to groups and individuals, but did appreciate the moments where I came in and offered some support to her, just to help her with her guidance and managing the timings. So finally, in terms of conclusions, it seemed that both learners showed really high levels of motivation, which links in nice with Tomlinson's work, as well as increased interactions and competition within the lessons. It was also great to hear both learners reflect that they thought more about the content within the lessons as a result of providing the coaching and leadership, as well as the technical points it took to complete the challenges they were set within the lesson. One point from a personal reflection standpoint is that there was an increased kind of focus on time and the resources that were provided for the learners, and I think a teacher needs to make sure that they keep on top of that. So a recommendation could be provided that while there's a place for challenges and extended leadership, it could be something that's blended in with conventional teacher instruction across different sports blocks of their learning blocks as well. Thank you for listening to this presentation.